Hello everyone, my name is Gabi Taylor and this is my community in words and pictures. Over here on the right is a map of the Dover area. This is the community that I live in. We have about 36,000 for our population. About 47% of that is male, about 53% female. Our three predominant races here, as far as the population is concerned, are white, black, and Hispanic. For the quality of life, the median age is 29.5. The median household income is about $46,000 a year. And the amount of individuals below the poverty level is 19.7%. Pictured here on the right is some mapping data for the community of Dover. Here where this blue X is closest to where I live, and it's color-coded. So surrounding the area in which I live, about 90 to 95 percentile, this area here is a higher percentage of low income, as well as this area over here in the right, which is in the 95 to 100 percentile. As far as the annual crime rates, I did get quite a bit of data on this, and I wanted to kind of compare the annual crime rate data to the weekly crime rate data, because the annual data only goes up to 2016 on the city data website. For the most interesting things that I noticed were for the theft and assault rate changes, as well as the burglaries and the rapes. So for rapes, we see here that it's steadily decreased from 2014 to 2016, which is very good. However, for the assault rate and burglaries, it has steadily increased from 2014 to 2016. And as far as theft, it increased in 2015, but then decreased again in 2016. So as we look at these two pie charts here, this pie chart here on the left, this is looking at the weekly crime rates. So as of this past week compared to the annual for 2016. And as you can see here, when we're looking at the assaults, the amount has not changed very much at all. It actually looks almost the same as the weekly amount. And then we also see here the biggest piece of the pie is larceny for the weekly crime rates and thefts for the annual. So this is something that the Dover Police put together weekly. This is from July 8th to July 14th. And they have color-coded here the amounts of the different crimes that they've responded to during that week. And as you can see, Monday had the most incidents compared to Thursday that had absolutely none. And again, we see that assault and larceny take the cake as the highest amount of occurrences. So for important institutions, we have here Capital School District. That is a school district for Dover, Delaware. We do have 2 charter schools and several different Telemon Head Start. So these are for preschool students. Here in Delaware, I'm not sure about other states, but it is not required for students to attend school for kindergarten unless they are already at the age of 6. The law here is that they have to, be enrolled in school by the time they turn 6 years old. So for Capital School District, I do have here on the right picture the brand new Dover High School. This school has only been here for about maybe 4 years, so it's newly built. Previously, the past location was only 1 level, was significantly smaller, and being able to build this much larger school has given more opportunities for the students to explore different career paths in addition to their secondary education. We also have 4 different colleges and universities. Pictured here on the very bottom is Delaware State University, which is the historically black college here in Delaware. And this is actually where I attended school for my undergrad. As you can see, it's a very large campus. There are 6 major churches that are listed here simply because they are quite well known in the community for their outreach methods and just different activities and things that they try to do to kind of unify the community, reach out to the needy, and help those who are less fortunate. Pictured here on the right is the first one listed here, which is Calvary Assemblies of God, also known as Calvary Church. We have several different supermarkets and department stores. The main one I have pictured here is Redner's Warehouse Markets, because that location is significantly attributed to Dover. This is not a store that's very nationally known. It is employee owned, but it is significant to the state of Delaware. I also have here the Dover Mall, which does have 78 different stores. So here's an aerial view of a map of that pictured here. And we also have the Dover Parks and Recreation, which is responsible for creating a lot of the summer youth camps, providing fitness classes for a very low fee to individuals in the community, as well as classes in other skills, such as knitting or pottery, and different sports leagues as well. We have 20 different hotels and motels in Dover as well. Most of them are located on the main strip, which is the main highway that runs directly through the center of Dover, which is known as Route 13. And I also have listed here the manufacturing production plants, which are responsible for hiring a lot of individuals here in the Dover area. So I have pictured here on the right the Kraft Factory, which is also now known as Kraft Heinz due to their merge. And I do have a hotel that is pictured here on the bottom, the Hilton Garden Inn. We also have the Dover Air Force Base that is located here in the center of Dover as well. If you did not know this, Dover actually is the capital of Delaware. So we do have Legislative Hall located here, as well as the Department of Health and Social Services and the housing authorities. Bay Health Medical Center is our biggest supplier of medical services here in the Dover area. Each county has one that is specific to them. And we also have Dover Behavioral Health System, which is the psychiatric hospital here as well. So as far as the elements of a good community, as far as safety is concerned, there are quite high crime rates here in Dover. It is one of those cities where, you know, once you've lived here for a while, people kind of learn what areas to kind of stay away from or where they may not want to choose to live. As far as goods and services, there have been many efforts to expand the economy. Currently, right now, they have been building a lot of new restaurants, a lot of new stores. We have seen some stores going out of business, but they're quickly being replaced with newer stores that are more familiar to the areas up north in Delaware that get a lot of business. They're kind of trickling their business down here into Dover. For relationships, there have been a lot of efforts to kind of unify the Black community, mostly conducted by a lot of our city council members. What people have kind of noticed is that this is a community that tends to be very divided, and that is what is really responsible for a lot of those higher crime rates. For commonality of values and goals, it does vary from person to person, but within this community, family is important above all. People generally do believe that, you know, friends, you know, close friends or even friends of their parents, whoever they consider to be family, that is who they're very protective of, whether they are blood related or not. For the whole person principle, everyone kind of defines respect here in different ways. And again, that kind of does go back to a lot of the division in the community, because what one person may deem as respectful because of how they were raised may not be deemed how another person defines respect, and that kind of causes a lot of the turmoil and conflict and dysfunction in some of these Black communities because of that lack of understanding and being able to connect those things. For predictability, the function of the community is kind of well known from day to day. People who've lived here for a good amount of time kind of know what to expect when living here. You know, when there's certain events that are going to happen, it's kind of sad, but you kind of know when there's going to be some type of, you know, turmoil, or, you know, if there's a big event going on where there may be a lot of minorities there, some people kind of think, I might want to stay away from that area because there might be a shooting tonight, or there may be some type of fight that might break out or something like that. But as far as our social structure, there is, just that notion, very high respect of our elderly, and single mothers are considered very heroic figures because there are quite a few single mothers in the community that are raising their kids on their own, you know, either by choice or voluntarily. opportunities. The downtown Dover Development District is very big here. There has been this huge project, this huge movement to kind of revitalize this community, and kind of take some of those older, condemned, abandoned buildings that we have and kind of revitalize them into some type of resource to help unify the community or serve it better. This is a project that has been going on for quite a few years now. A lot of these older factories that have been kind of sitting there for years and years and years that have become an eyesore, they're tearing those down. They're building new supermarkets. They're creating a lot of different job opportunities. And this is really causing the economy to grow. You know, the more jobs that are available, and the more laws that legislature is making to kind of, you know, take away some of those barriers that are keeping individuals from gaining employment, it is kind of helping to decrease the crime rates to some extent. And for the differences that are experienced in the community, it does kind of cause some disruption. One of the things that I've noticed in some of these neighborhoods, just, you know, in doing my job, going out and doing home visits and case management, you know, and talking to some of these clients, a lot of times, especially my black males, when they're getting in trouble with the law, a lot of times they say, well, you know, this person disrespected me, or they'll kind of tell me, well, this is how I grew up and this is how they grew up, and that's why I don't like them, because they may have had, you know, had it better than them, or they consider that person having, you know, grown up a little bit better than they did, and it makes them angry, and it makes them, you know, feel like they want to lash out at people because they're so unhappy with how their life has now turned out as a result of this chronic homelessness or consistently living in poverty. And I think that just kind of working on some different things to help bring the community together, that's one of the main improvements that we need here. Helping people to see their common ground and not thinking that where they come from divides them in any way, shape, or form, but that we're all here for the same reason, that we all have the same goals to, you know, to be able to live comfortably and, you know, be successful and have sufficient income so that we don't have to depend on state assistance, and, you know, being able to be self-sufficient, you know, in our own career paths, and being able to really help people and create change, and just trying to find ways to bring the community together by those means, I think would make a very big difference just in the, you know, amount of crime and poverty and different things like that we see, especially like the drug activity on these different areas where people know, like, this area is isolated to those specific incidents, so let's stay away from there. And instead, the community saying, hey, let's go out there to those communities. Let's go out there and talk to them. Let's see what we can do to kind of help them get out of this rut and generate a better economy, to kind of get them to be feel uplifted and be encouraged and see a different way other than what they've been doing. So that is my presentation, and here are my references, and thank you for listening.